What's up, guys? Welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Sarah. Today we're doing a review of the Rare Beauty products, the Selena Gomez beauty line. I purchased 7 different products from her line. All of them were the most requested products from you guys, so I asked you which products you were considering purchasing. I went ahead and bought them, and I'm gonna be testing them out for you today. So you'll be able to see my full review, my first impressions, the full breakdown of what I think about this new collection. So let's jump right in. So I'm not gonna prime today because she doesn't have a primer. Actually, she might have a primer and I didn't get it. I'm not positive. So what I did instead of primer was I just did my regular moisturizer. I figure if you guys aren't looking for a primer, you might just wanna moisturize and then go on with foundation. So let's start there. First of all, I think the packaging is absolutely gorgeous. And I also like how I don't feel like it's gonna like clank or break. It does feel pretty durable, but not super heavy. So I like that a lot. When you open it up, it has the doe foot applicator, which I always like. I do like a pump foundation too, but the doe foot's kind of nice just to help you put the product exactly in the places you want it. I would say it's like a little less messy than a pump. You don't really have to use the back of your hand. You can just go straight onto the face. I'm in the shade 210N, and I'm just gonna start by applying right in the center of my face and work my way out. I will say, just 2 swipes of that, I was gonna say it didn't go very far, but then I dunked again, and this one feels like it did go far. So I'm gonna try not to dip back in and see if I can do the rest of my face with what's on the applicator. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Also go down my neck. I'm going to use my sponge to blend this in. I feel like that's the best way to test the foundation. The shade match is pretty good. I obviously match myself, so that's not on anyone. She has a great shade range for these foundations though. I was impressed by the shade range. Yeah, wow, it is melting into the skin though nicely. This is more like the shade that I would like to be. I tend to do that. I tend to go more towards the shade I would like to be and like the shade of my body, because the actual shade of my face is like more white, more pale, more like pinky undertone than I'd like it to be. I love a more neutral undertone, or a more, like I even would lean more towards like a more yellow undertone for like what I like my skin to look like. So I really like it. Like I feel like that's nice. It's different than I thought it would be. I would say it's about a medium to full coverage. All of that product blended out really well. So like we really only needed 2 dips, which is nice. I wasn't going in like 10 times, and I covered my entire face and neck. So that is the application right there. The concealer is basically the same thing as the foundation in just like a mini version. I got the exact same shade, 210N. It looked slightly lighter than the foundation on the website. I bought it from Sephora, so I figured it should work. It is nice and thick. I don't feel like I need much, but we'll see when I blend it out. I like this applicator because it's like, it's kind of like at an angle. Do you guys see that? So I can be really precise. I could do like a nice line right down the center of my nose easily. And I only needed that 1 dip of the concealer. I feel like the consistency is very like almost whipped, if that makes sense. All right, so I wish this was like a teeny bit brighter. It's a great match, but it feels very similar to the foundation for me. And I like when my concealer is like half a shade brighter, just to brighten up my under eye, because my under eye is a little bit darker, but I think that still looks really nice. I'm honestly impressed, but I didn't think it was gonna be, I thought it was gonna be good. I didn't think it was gonna be like as good as this though. This is like high quality. You just never know when a celebrity comes out with a makeup line, you know? Okay, so like I said, I wish it was a touch brighter. I'm not gonna change it. I'm not gonna add on my own because I do wanna see like how it settles. And if it oxidizes, like if anything gets any darker, I wanna see that. Yeah, I would say this is pretty full coverage, but like in a really nice, healthy way. Like I do like how the skin is looking. Since I'm not setting my under eye, I'm going to just press the product in those places that I know are gonna crease. All right, let's go in with blush. I got the shades Bliss and Joy, size reference. They're, I think, wanna say the exact same size as the concealer, but they have the metallic top as opposed to the white. Here they are in comparison to the foundation, just so you guys can see. So I like both of these shades a lot. I really like to mix blush shades, so that's why I got both. I feel like this one would be great. This is Bliss. I feel like this one would be great for like summer, but I also think this shade is just good for me year round. I'm also gonna do a little bit of this on my eyelids because I love to just like do a monochromatic moment. And then I'm gonna do a teeny bit of, I think this is Joy. Oh, that wasn't a teeny bit. And again, just a little on the lid. I really love a liquid blush recently. I feel like as I'm getting older, I am gravitating towards more cream products. I definitely did too much, guys. So I'm gonna definitely need my sponge. So I'm gonna use my beauty blender and really pounce this in. It seems that you need to work with these pretty quickly. I like when you have a little bit more time, but this is actually still blending out really well. I would just say I used a little too much to just use my finger. The sponge is blending it out beautifully. And honestly, that shade combination is gorgeous. It's giving me almost like a tan. It's really pretty. And then I'm just gonna take the excess of that and go up and over my nose because I like to do that like, you know, beachy sun-kissed type of look. Okay, I'm also going to just dab this in with the sponge on my lids. I may have over blended them a bit. Let's go back on with a teeny bit more. So I feel like when I go in the bottle, I get more than I want when I just pull out the applicator. So I'll go to like wipe it off and then I get too less, which is kind of annoying. Like I kind of like when I can just go in and dab and work with what I've got. So that's like a little bit annoying, but that's definitely also like a high maintenance thing for me. Okay, I think that's perfect. All right, time for brows. This is the Brow Harmony. It has this angled side. I got the shade Warm Brown, and then it has a gel on the other side, and it is a tinted gel, so let's see. I normally like to just have a spoolie on one side so I can comb my brow hairs up and then go on with the pencil. So that's a little annoying. I'm just grabbing a spoolie to comb them up because I always need to brush my brow hairs up before I fill them in. All right, the shade is good. It's a teeny bit warm for me. I had a feeling it was gonna be. Okay, that wore down really quick. I will say it's coming out pretty pigmented, but it's almost like I want it to come out less because it's kind of hard to control. I don't know if I love this. It may just be like the way I like to put my brows on, but I like to go back and forth and blend with the spoolie. And this product doesn't allow me to do that. So what I'm learning is you need to just have an extremely light hand when you're applying this. Lighter than I've ever used any brow pencil before. Now I'm gonna go on with the gel. Of course, you could just use the gel by itself if you want, depending on your eyebrows. It's also tinted, which is nice. But let's see. I almost feel like the combination is a little too much. Like I don't need both. But I feel like I might like the gel more than the actual pencil. I kind of just, you know, like kind of cleaned off the excess from the gel and the pencil. And to be honest with you, I really like how my brows look. I feel like they look full, they look defined. They're just a little messy for me. And honestly, I think for like a beginner, it's gonna be a lot harder for you to use it than a different brow product. Just gonna pop on a mascara really quick before we do lips. Okay, so my under eye is creasing, but honestly, it's only creasing a teeny bit. And for not setting it with any powder, I'm actually very impressed with that. All right, time for lips. This is, I believe, the Lip Souffle. Super cute packaging, really sleek. Love how this came out. This is in the shade Energize, which I swatched and it looks a little too pink for me, to be honest. Yeah, it's like very bright. It feels really nice. Even though it's matte, it's almost like it feels like a velvet matte. So it's obviously insanely bright. Like I don't think I would ever actually wear this shade. I do think it's like a fun pop of color. I think it would look really nice if I was a little more tan, or if you have more olivey skin, I think this shade would look bomb on you. Doesn't taste bad. Believe it or not, you eat your lipstick. You just do. We all do. It's disgusting, which is why you want to make sure you're using lipsticks and lip products that don't have a ton of bad in them. And I believe Rare is like a full clean brand, which is amazing. I do feel like it makes my teeth look a little more white too. What do you think? Yes? No? Maybe? All right, so let's run through and talk final thoughts, final review after this application. Start with the foundation. I'm gonna try and rate these from 1 to 10, 10 being like the best foundation or best product I've ever used in my life, 1 being the absolute worst. So I would say this foundation probably comes in around like let's give it an 8. I think it's an 8 out of 10. Let's not get like decimal point crazy. This is not pizza review. This is makeup review. The consistency was really nice. Like I said, every one of these products was like this whipped consistency that was very easy to blend. So this really melted into the skin. I really loved the shade. The tone was so good on my skin tone. I feel like it makes me look more even, like healthy, like really pretty tone on the skin. I think the packaging is amazing. I think it's very easy to apply with the doe foot applicator. It looks relatively clean, like it's not getting super messy in there, which I really appreciate. I hate when I'm using products with an applicator like this that end up going in and then like, you know what I mean, like pressing out on the sides and getting really messy. I hate that. So I love that about it. And I also think this is gonna be good for a lot of different skin types. My skin is very combination these days. So I am dry in places and I am oily in places. The fact that I did not set my makeup at all and my skin looks like this is honestly very impressive. And it's not creasing and it doesn't feel wet. So yeah, Rare Beauty foundation, 8 out of 10. I honestly really loved the concealer. The only creasing was right here, like right under my under eye right there. Very impressive. So I might have to give this an 8 as well. Go up a half shade. It was not bright enough for me. I wanted it a touch brighter, but I still think my under eye looks good. One thing that I don't love about these applicators, it was this for the concealer and the blush. You can see like a little bit too much is coming out on the initial pull, and I will go to wipe some of it off, which can then get messy and then it can be not enough. So I will say just beware of that. If you are gonna use this, you may wanna go on the back of your hand and then apply. That might help with that issue. Again, not a real issue, but something that is annoying for me. I like to just open my product and go to town and not feel like, oh my God, I put too much on. So that was probably my one downside of the concealer. I would again say medium to full coverage, very natural, but still gonna cover up your dark circles and really melt into the skin nicely. Oh my gosh, you guys, I didn't use the highlight. Hold up, I interrupt this final review for the highlight. Wow, what is wrong with me? This was probably the product that you guys said you wanted to see the most. So, switching gears, this is the liquid luminizer in the shade Mesmerize. I believe I read on Sephora's website that this is Selena's go-to shade. Okay, so let's just hit the tops of the cheeks, the nose. I should probably zoom you back in for this, and the Cupid's bow. I'll do a little in the inner corner as well. Okay. I feel like it's blending in very nicely. I'm a sucker for a liquid highlight, I'll tell you. So there it is. Let's give it a minute. I like to let it sit in the skin. Let's go back and review the blushes. I would say a little bit goes a long way with these, but one thing I noticed is like, it felt like I had too much on and then I blended it out and I almost blended it out too much. So that was like a little annoying to me, which again, could be user error, but I never want to feel like I have too much because then that stresses me out. And then when I go to like blend it, it doesn't feel like enough and I have to go on with more. You know what I mean? That was what happened to me with these blushes, but I still really like them. I think the shades are beautiful. I think I like the shades more than I like the formulas. Just because they are that whipped formula, like it's a little bit like you just don't know how much pigment's gonna work for you. It may just take like a few times of you using it to figure it out. So the blushes I'm gonna give like a 7.5. Still really good. Not my favorite liquid blushes of all time, but really good and definitely worth trying if you are looking for a liquid blush. Next up, let's review the brow product. So this was probably my least favorite out of all of the products that I used. You kind of got my review as I was using it, but I felt like the pencil went down super quick. Like, I think I was pressing it a little too hard, and what I learned after using it for like probably after this brow, I learned you just need to have an extremely light hand when you're applying this product because it just goes on thick, which is nice. Like you love a product to not be like, oh my God, I'm applying it forever and no pigment's coming out. You're definitely not gonna have that problem with this. I thought the shade was a little too warm for me and I don't love the shade selection on this. So I just kind of feel like this is a little hard to work with. In terms of the gel, I actually really like the gel. I think I like the gel a lot more. I would like to try the gel on its own for like a quick or I would use the pencil and a clear gel. I just don't like using a pencil and a tinted gel together. I think it just becomes too much. It gets messy. I don't know. It's just not for me. So I'm gonna give the brow pencil, I think I'm gonna give it like a 6.5. I said I wasn't gonna do decimal points and here we are. I don't wanna give it a 6 because it wasn't terrible. And the thing is, the redeeming quality of it was like once I cleaned it up, I really, really liked how my brows look. I think they look nice and full. I think they look defined. I'm good with it. But like I said, I just think getting to this point was a little more difficult than I wanted it to be. All right, Lip Souffle. This product I actually really liked. My only issue with it was the shade that I chose, which again, that's on me. Well, I will say, like, I didn't think it was gonna be this shade when I ordered it, so that is kind of on them. The way they put it on the website, it doesn't look this bright to me at all. So I was surprised by that, don't love that. But the formula and the consistency of this is bomb. It's a great matte lip. I don't feel like it's drying. My lips feel really good. Like when I put them together, they just feel like soft. And like I said, it's like this whipped texture. That's what I feel like a lot of her products are. And I know I've said that over and over in this video, but it's really nice. Like it just feels and looks really nice because it's kind of light and just kind of like lays on top while also melting in, if that makes sense. Good matte lips are hard to find for me because my lips are so dry. I think I'm gonna give this like an 8.5. I felt very good about this product. All right, so lastly, we have the Liquid Luminizer. I just wanted to give it like 5 or so minutes on the face before I really gave it a review. I think it's really pretty. It is a very subtle, super subtle highlight. So if you're into a subtle highlight, I think you're gonna really like it. Personally, I feel like with this product, I might be like applying it before I'm going out or whatever I'm doing. And then right before I leave, I go back and put more of it on, which I don't love. That's one thing I don't love about it. I like when I just have to put it on once and then I'm good to go. I feel like it's just a little too subtle for me. So yeah, I think some of you may like this more than I do just because it is subtle, but I don't know. I just think I've used glow products that I like a little bit more than this one. It is a very lit from within glow look, but I just want a teeny bit more. Like I just think I'm gonna have to reapply it. For the Liquid Luminizer, my score is, I'm gonna give it a 7. Not bad by any means, not the best thing in the world. So that's it, guys. That's my full review of the Rare Beauty line, Selena Gomez's new makeup line. Overall, I'm very into this makeup look. I think it's really pretty. I think it was really easy to apply. It'll be like a quick makeup application. I wanna give you one more close-up with the highlight on now so you can really see what we're working with. Honestly, it looks beautiful in the viewfinder. My favorite thing about it is that I didn't need to use powder once. So that's like my favorite thing ever. As your skin gets a little bit older, you want to use less and less powder because powder is just gonna settle into fine lines where you don't want it. So if I don't have to use powder, if I have products that are just gonna set themselves, ideal situation, right? I hope you guys enjoyed this review. As always, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Mwah.